Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So the RNC has made some major changes and now we see a newly elected chairman. Ronna McDaniel is gone. We have officially repealed and replaced the entire Mick establishment who was responsible for the 2022 disaster and plenty of other problems within the Republican Party. Whether if it was removing Kevin McCarthy, replacing him with Mike Johnson, whether if it was removing Mitch McConnell or having him step down and replacing him with we don't exactly know just yet, or whether if it was getting rid of Ronna McDaniel, who was a three-time underperformer, 2018, 2020, 2022. Finally, just before 2024, she's getting out of the way. You have a new competent chairman in place to help lead Donald Trump to victory. And you have surrounded many successful, capable people around him in some of the other leadership positions as well, including Lara Trump, who also kind of helps with the Republican Party branding, makes it a little bit more, friendly to the Trump base. You got rid of a Romney from the leadership, you put a Trump in leadership. It's very fitting, and so many people in the more, neoconservative side of things are upset about that. They're calling that nepotism. Oh, but they were okay with Ronna McDaniel. They were okay with, having Bush's dynasty exist, and they were comfortable propping them up. But because you have somebody who is qualified that happens to have the last name Trump in leadership, they're not too happy about it, despite the fact that she has a great deal of consulting experience and she has a very good vision and platform, which we will be talking about in this video. But still, I kind of want to touch base on Michael Whatley, because we talk about winning swing states. There was only one real swing state in the 2020 election that stayed Republican, besides Florida. I'm not going to count like Ohio or Iowa or Texas as swing states, but North Carolina, that was the state that turned a corner when a lot of other states didn't necessarily turn a corner. And part of the reason why is because they had a competent chairman, Michael Whatley, who is the chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party. And North Carolina is a competitive state, so he chaired a competitive state for a sustained amount of time. And you saw 2020, he got Donald Trump elected in North Carolina, at least. He got Mark Robinson elected. He got a lot of Republicans elected. 2022 got Ted Budd elected, who's one of our better senators, despite being from North Carolina, which is a swing state. And on top of that, he's also gotten judges elected that were able to go in there, change the maps, make them more favorable for Republicans. He's put a sleeper agent on the Democrat side of things in the state house who flipped and became a Republican. Then they redrew the district, and now Democrats are at a major disadvantage in North Carolina, because even though they have the governor's mansion, there is a supermajority down ballot in the state chambers where the Republicans are basically able to run the state themselves. You basically have a Republican shadow governor there. And as a result, the state is probably going to move right. You have people that are competent. They're very right-leaning. They're very MAGA, but still, they're competent and they're getting things done. And that's what you like to see. We like MAGA and we also like competence. When you mix the two together, you're going to have a very successful national Republican Party. We talk about the competent state parties. You have Florida and Texas to a large degree. Those are talked about a lot. North Carolina, not talked about possibly as much, but still the state's undergone a lot of changes since 2008, but still it's actually gotten redder, and that we know. And it seems like it's going to stay red again, but also taking this winning leadership to the national level. Because it is true that Ronna McDaniel was the state chair, and state success does not always, correlate to national success. And we know that certain candidates for president who have been governors and regarded to be decent governors or won big at the governor level don't always do well at the national level. You look at people like Mitt Romney, who won Massachusetts at the governor level, and then he got completely trounced in 2012, or Ron DeSantis, who completely kind of just turned into a bust at the national stage in the 2024 primary. So that is true, but still, Ronna McDaniel led the state for 2 years, like not even, only oversaw one election. That was won because of Donald Trump, by the way, not because of her. And by the time she left, the Michigan State Party was weaker, and it continued to get weaker after she left, but still, she was not really all that good at the national level, in that we know fundraising was okay for a couple years, mainly because of Trump. And now what happened? Now Trump's kind of out of the picture, even though he's coming back into the picture, and fundraising has been a total disaster. She was a mess. So you need people that are good at fundraising, don't sabotage candidates, have decent messaging overall, and you will get that. You will get that with Michael Whatley. Even when other states in the midterms didn't do so well for Republicans because of incompetent Republican Party leadership, well, you got something good in North Carolina. That fundraising should likely, turn a tide. They had their worst year for fundraising since 1993, although it is true the next year they had a very big year, but still, that's not all that good. So because it's an election year, you need somebody in there who is extremely good with fundraising, does not sabotage certain candidates, does not try to capitulate to the left and try to outwoke the left in terms of messaging. And you get that with Michael Whatley more so than you don't. You get people who are aligned with Trump on a lot of things, won't get in his way, but are still competent, still can raise money, and that's a very good thing. And that's exactly what we've needed for quite some time, because we've never had this leadership. It's not going to be entirely perfect. You're not going to get your, dream pick in every single potential leadership position, but you got to kind of work within the system to get realistic wins, and we've kind of done that. Got rid of McCarthy, got Johnson, who's much better. I don't know who we're going to get as Senate Majority Leader. So long as it's not John Thune or John Cornyn, we'll probably be better off in that department as well. But this is absolutely huge. A massive needed upgrade all around. And then you've got the co-chair, who also plays to Trump's base as well, because it's Donald Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, who has laid out her promises. So many people are saying Lara Trump doesn't know what she's doing, even though she has experience in consulting. She's worked on many campaigns. It's not like this is a pick just because of the fact that, her last name is Trump, and they say that she doesn't know what she's doing. A lot of these rhinos, a lot of these neocons, because they're trying to, delegitimize the changes for the better within the RNC. But then you watch what exactly her plan is to go out there and change things. It's pretty much all that we have been complaining about regarding the problems of Ronna McDaniel's tenure. So listen to this.
If I am elected co-chair of the RNC, we are going to have out of control, like we've never seen in America, voter registration.
And that's another thing that's very important. We need voter registration. We have so many people across the Midwest who would more likely than not be Trump voters who are just simply unregistered to vote. Tens of millions of non-college educated white voters. That's Trump's base. You have to get those people registered. You have to get them out to vote. Instead, the RNC has done none of that during Trump's tenure, and as a result, they have been losing.
Legal ballot harvesting all over this country.
And that's another thing. You need to be doing that. The Democrats will have their system set up. They will harvest ballots. They've been doing this in California for over half a decade. Republicans in California, in some recent elections, they've actually been biting back, and they've been doing that, and it's actually worked out for them. California, you saw Gavin Newsom. He won by less than 20 points in California, which has basically been like a D+30 state, because Republicans have done a much better job at ballot harvesting. They flipped a lot of congressional seats in California since 2018 because they started to use the Democrats' game to their advantage. So if we're able to do that where we can, that's going to be a big benefit to the Republican Party.
A ground game like we have never seen before. Election day operations, poll watchers in every polling location across this country. And we're not just going to poll watch. We have already seen that the RNC has started it, and we will continue doing this. Trained poll watchers. These are people who go in and actually physically handle the ballots. You can count every ballot coming in, so you know how many ballots go out. We are going to have to play this game so much better than the Democrats.
And that's 100% true as well. We are going to have to train a lot of people to make sure that you have election integrity to restore confidence in the eyes of the American people. And to do so, you're going to need many trained poll watchers. We had that in place in Virginia before the governor's election. We saw what happened there. So it'd be a big benefit if we actually had that.
That we leave nothing to chance come November 5th. And I'll tell you something else we have to start doing. Early voting. I know we'd love one election day. We'd love paper ballots. We'd love everybody to have voter ID because that makes sense, doesn't it, in the United States? We may get back there one day, but we are not there today. And so because of that, we are going to have to start banking our votes. And we do that with turning out to...
So basically, she's saying we need to start pushing early voting, which is 100% true. I mean, you look at what Republicans have been doing in Florida. There's a big early voting push. Republicans have been expanding their margin of victory. They've been beating the Democrats at their own game. And you see the same thing in Texas. Republican turnout, in-person voting, we like in-person voting best, and that's important. But a lot of states, especially all the swing states, they have in-person early voting for a week or two before the election. They have in-person absentee, you name it, or you can get your ballot. You could drop it off at the polling place, depending on the state. Every state has different laws regarding it, but still, either way, what it comes down to is beating the Democrats at their own game. They will have everybody voting early, and then they still send people to the polls on election day. They leave no stone unturned. Republicans, a lot of them will make sure to say, oh no, we'll just wait and vote on election day because I don't know why. And then you see these long lines. Some people might not want to stand in those long lines. And Democrats have kind of taken advantage of the more traditional mindset. And by the way, I prefer one-day voting. I don't like election month because, you don't know what's going to happen. You could have a November surprise, and if people have already voted, even if they can technically go in and change their vote, it's still kind of unlikely that that would happen. So either way, these are all things the RNC has failed to push for. These are all things the RNC needs to push for, and you have Donald Trump up in the biggest election of his lifetime. He's in the best position politically of his lifetime by every single metric. We cannot afford to mess this up. So the fact that we got rid of Ronna Romney McDaniel, that is, and we replaced her with Michael Whatley, and his co-chair is going to be Lara Trump, who has this epic, detailed platform to go out there and win in November. If that is stuck to, even partially, Donald Trump is going to be even more invincible come November. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.